Namaste, beloved angels, and hey, welcome to Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. I am always amazed at the extraordinary events that come forward in our lives, each and every moment, each and every breath, it seems. And as we are coming here together this evening, it is a very special evening. And, as we're coming together right now, I have been trying to get together with my extraordinary co-host this evening, Wafa Tarnowska, for about 15 minutes now. And we're seeing each other, but she's unable to get her audio to broadcast. So she's kind of working on that right now. And as she is working on that, let's all kind of hold that we'll be able to bring her in, and kind of a full circle moment, isn't it? So as we come together this evening, I want to first give a big shout out to TFR Live. Hey, we love you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for being here with us. And you can also join us over at onenesstalkradio.com, and you can jump into a chat over there. You can listen to us via the audio. You can also watch us broadcasting, and we are also broadcasting at YouTube over at the Oneness Talk Radio channel this evening, of course, over at Facebook. And again, thank you for supporting Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. Each week we have the opportunity to connect with you. And I want to remind you that I do see that the phone lines are filling up already, but feel free to give us a call, 517-208-1500. Again, that's 517-208-1500. And jump into the queue, ask for a mini soul reading, share what you're feeling, say hi to myself or my co-host. So let's bring our hands to our heart and let's look at that. Here we are on October 17th. How did that happen, right? It's like surreal at the energy that has been building and the momentum of this moment. And as we come together this evening, this is really the moment to be looking at that precipice, that energy of magic, that energy of the divine manifested presence that we are, and to look at the myth that has been spun, that has done its best to try to stop us from remembering our co-creative extraordinary empowerment. And I really bow before all of you. Each week it's just such a blessing to smile at those that are on the show, and how that lays out and the energy that's playing out there. And this show seems to consistently call forward a community of extraordinary beings that co-create this magic in the perfect moment. And tonight is especially amazing because as we're all waving our magic wands right now, I first want to thank Sue, those of you that are part of our community. Excuse me. As I'm talking about Sue, my throat chakra. Give me 1 second. I'm going to take a sip of water. Those of you that have been following with our community, you are already aware that Sue Sturdivant, our beloved assistant of many, many years, was here with us at Tosa Blue Mountain, Ecuador. And right when she was supposed to leave, turned out she needed a somewhat emergency type surgery. And I want to thank Sue for really being part of the inspiration of the theme of magic and mastery this evening, because while Sue was here, so much has happened in Ecuador. And thank you to all of you that have been writing us and going, hey, are you guys okay? What's happening in Ecuador? Actually, what just happened here in Ecuador was a demonstration of unified consciousness saying yes to their own right to be. And it was actually a beautiful moment to witness. And yes, there was some tragedy, however, nowhere near what got overplayed in a lot of the international media. But during this moment, consider that everything that happened around Sue, since she has really claimed herself as the truth of who she truly is, which is, in my opinion, one of the most extraordinary representatives of Indigenous mastery ceremonies that there are. And the minute she said yes to that, the minute she claimed it, and so many beautiful beings went through all these extraordinary San Pedro journeys with her, this physical manifestation came forward and said, really? Are you ready? Or can I take you out a little bit? And I thought it was really an extraordinary moment because literally everything was flawless around her, from the beginning of her, let's just say, unplanned extension here in Ecuador to her arriving home last night. Even missing the big storm that's happening in the Northeast. Her plan was one of the last to land. Her plane, excuse me, her bus got home on time. And so there is magic afoot. there is a beautiful, rich opportunity. And, it's important that as we all move forward through the September experience of uncloaking and then seeing the greater dome that's out there, the more that we let go of judging others, the easier we can anchor into the seventh dimensional realms. And when others are having physical experiences, what many often forget and are quickly harsh to judge is that oftentimes the physical experience of the master is part of their mastery. Many people, I always bow and I smile and think about if you connect with beloved Ramana Maharshi in his later years, this man was crippled. He was almost disfigured and barely able to walk. Paramahansa Yogananda during his later years was very much tied into the ashram for similar reasons. When we attain a certain level of mastery, there is a moment where we can look and pay attention to the unified field of the physical body as one with our spiritual form. And so this is a moment right now to really invite the greater vision to unfold. And when we do, our mastery comes forward and reminds us that we are already co-creating and that the magic has never left us. It has just been waiting for us to reclaim it. And that's really how I feel about tonight's guest. And, I want to take a moment and share how I met tonight's guest in just a moment. And before I do, I just want to invite all of you, what's your tribe talking about right now? What's been going on in your world this week? Because this October experience is one that is inviting you to honestly remember who you are, to honestly say yes to your divine mastery, and to recognize that every breath of doubt, every moment of doubt is that self-inflicted energy that would seek to keep you trapped. And remember, my loves, that as long as you are carrying one of these protoplasmic jumpsuits, we are all part of it. Now, part of that dance is also how we wake up and also how we keep ourselves awake, right? That beautiful Leela, that swirling divine dervish. And of course, it makes my heart sing and smile because when I think of that, I immediately think of my co-host this evening, the extraordinary and the truly unique one and only Wafa Tarnowska, who I adore with all of my heart and soul. If you're not already aware, she is the host of Sufi Voices at onenesstalkradio.com, and it is an extraordinary show. Give yourself a treat and check out this show. If you get our newsletter, you've already received it with all of the links. And Wafa is such an accomplished woman that I could literally spend the entire show just talking about her brilliant accomplishments. So I want to talk to you about the Wafa that I have had the pleasure of walking a journey with for, oh my goodness gracious, might be 10 or more years now. I'm not sure. I'll ask her that question when we get on because we're creating magic. She is going to have her audio. I met Wafa when my beloved husband and I, Sri Ramka, were the featured speakers at a conference sponsored by Patricia Cota-Robles in Washington, D.C. We were that year's, hidden speaker thing. And it was an extraordinary moment. It was just a beautiful come together. And it was such a beautiful moment. I remember there was an area that had been set up where you could meet with those that were in the audience that wanted to chat with you. And I remember when Wafa first came up to the table. I actually remember it. I remember her sincerity. I remember her sincere inquisition. She is a lover of life and a questioner, and she's fascinated by culture, and she is able to bring and synthesize all that together in her unique way. And I met a woman who I thought was extraordinary. And I realized in that moment, she had not yet realized how extraordinary she really was. And so it was such a treat to talk with her because I too, I went to my university studies were in Washington, D.C. because I also am very international and always enjoy cultures. And that's why I went to school in Washington, D.C. So it was just for me a wonderful moment of revisiting where I had gone to university, where I was meeting people once more from a very broad, diverse background. And so it was just extraordinary. And, Wafa, over the years I have known her, I have watched her rise and I have watched her cycle. And through it all, what I have seen is the spiritual tenacity of a true master wrapped into the wisdom of one who was finally coming of age. And so, what I can say about this beloved angel after all the years that I have known her is that she is a woman of Lebanese roots who was born in Lebanon, who knows the terror of a bomb exploding outside of her home, who has a love inside of her that is so extraordinary that it expresses in everything that she does. There isn't anything she touches that doesn't get filled with love. And when she comes on the air, I'm going to make sure to ask her too about her creation here at Tosa Blue Mountain. For those of you that join us here at Tosa Blue Mountain, make sure you get a special Wafaa Turkish coffee, because my goodness, does she make the best. And so I am right here with Wafaa right now, and I am going to promote her to panelist, and we are going to welcome her in, and this is going to work. This is going to be the magic moment, right, Wafaa? This is it. We are here in the magic moment. So I'm not seeing you yet, sweetheart. How about speaking? Okay, Wafaa, honey, I don't have you. I'm going to go ahead, and I see that you've called in one other time. I'm going to bring in this other, and here we go. Hey, there's Wafaa, but I still can't hear you, honey. Oh, you look beautiful. This is Wafaa. This is the amazing woman who I was talking about. But for whatever reason, we just can't get your audio to work, my angel. Hey, what a great, beautiful moment that is. Wafaa is coming to us live from the UK in the middle of the night. There we go. Hi, namaste. And now here's Wafaa down here, and still no audio, my love. No, we see you. You look beautiful.
Can you hear me?
I see you.
I don't
And
understand.
you look gorgeous, but we have no audio. Oh, honey. I am holding the presence of magic for you.
Hi, can you hear me now? Maybe I can talk through the radio.
Wafaa, there is no audio, honey. We cannot hear you. So we'll try another. It looks like we're trying one more option here. And thank you to all of you who are with us right now and being so patient with us. Let's see if we can get this to work.
YouTube says they hear it.
Okay. Hey, so Wafaa, YouTube says they hear you. So this is something on my end. So Wafaa, we're going to do it as a lip sync. So if YouTube hears you, hey, how about those of you chatting over at Oneness Talk Radio? Are you hearing Wafaa as well? Is it just me that's not hearing her? So Wafaa, this is exciting that YouTube is hearing you. I don't know why I'm not. Shri, can you think of any reason why I'm not?
Go to the settings and sound and look at speakers.
Okay.
Not there, in your Mac.
In my Mac. Okay, hold on one second, Wafaa. This could have been me the whole time. So hold on.
Sound.
So I'm right there. Okay, output, built-in speakers.
Yeah.
Yes?
Correct.
Okay, okay. But you know what? Here, Shri, I think the output is not. Output. Hold on. Wafaa? Wafaa, unmute yourself, honey.
Unmute.
I hear you. I hear you. We've created a miracle.
I'm praying. My angels are working. I've got the candle. I've got my angels around me and my Buddha. This is my living room. It's not my study. The study is, it's a bit too late at night to be in my study. It's too close to the bedrooms.
Well, sweetheart, I want to thank that beautiful young man who's been helping you. We've all been seeing that beautiful assistance. So to those of you behind the camera at Wafa's house, thank you. We love you. And
my wonderful Indian tenant called Moses Joy.
oh, well, we are so grateful. So welcome, my love. I hope you heard me recapping. When was that? What year was that? Do you know?
course, how could I ever forget Kira? When I
Oh,
was
Angel.
impossible. It was August 2010, and I was in a very bad space in my life. I had just split up with my husband, and I was feeling very upset about my marriage breaking down. And I went to this conference in Washington, D.C., and you were talking about the Essenes, and you were part of many speakers, but believe you me, and it is the truth, I don't remember anything that was said that day except what you and Shri told about the Essene, and I was absolutely profoundly touched by it, because I come from the land of the Essenes. You know, probably my ancestors were Essenes, or I have definitely walked that land physically. So I felt so touched by somebody actually doing this work. And that was it. So I remember seeing listening to you that hour, and then you did some sort of something with the face and a scene, maybe initiation or something, which all I remember is that I knew I had to go and talk to you. And this is when I went to talk to you during the break. And there was Anam, who was absolutely extraordinary. God bless her.
Agreed.
And that was it. That was it. I mean, I bought all the books I could find, and you signed me some beautiful words about how I remember when you first saw me, you just said, what you're doing is an example for your daughters. And it is true, because what I was doing was showing my daughters that you couldn't accept certain behavior. And that was it. And then a few months later, and I remember you telling me, why don't you come and see us in Guatemala? And in those days, I was working in Dubai, and Guatemala, Dubai is like 20 hours. And I said to myself, oh yeah, no way, I'm never going to go to Guatemala. But the angels wanted otherwise, because I remember starting to receive your newsletters and starting to learn a little bit more, and of course, reading all the books. And I remember very clearly, it was December 2010, and you sent an email say 2 places left for the Essene journey in Guatemala in March. And I said, I'm going. And I came in March 2011 to see you, and it was magical.
It was very magical. And as I was sharing earlier, before you had the blessing of joining us live, your accomplishments are so extraordinary. And I really enjoy that you are often described as this bridge being, because we're living in a moment where your divine mastery is literally making magic. You are really assisting to bring love and light and the weaving of the myth and the magic together in a way that is very uniquely yours. And, one of the things I shared right before you came on was, sincerely to all of you, if you have not tuned into Sufi Voices, you are missing a show. Shri and I listened to this show. It is that good. And so really, I mean, you really owe it to yourself. Check out this show. And Wafaa, let's talk about, you have inside of you an energy. It's a spark. It's a vibrance. It's this tenacity. And forgive me, but I really want to talk about, has this always been there? Was this always there in your childhood? What egged this on in you? Because you are like a little fireball, you really are the Energizer Bunny of all of this. And so share more with us about you.
I think it's a bit genetic. My father has it. He was a very, very energetic person and full of life. He's 97 and he still sings. At the moment, he's got pneumonia and he's got a breather, and he sings under his breather. So
I love it. That's why he's 97, because he's singing. I love it.
I would love to be able to sing, but my joy in life is dancing. So yeah, I think I've always had this love of life. There is a fantastic for me as a 8-month child, which I think defines my life. And you would love it. It's very symbolic, Kira. It's a black and white picture. It's me, about I think 8 months old, at the time of apricots. And my parents plonked me in front of a huge big bowl of apricots, and I looked at them and I wanted to touch them. And I to touch all these apricots, and I couldn't. My hands were too little. And I felt so frustrated. And so the picture is, first I'm like amazed, and then frustrated, and then I'm crying because I can't get the apricots. And I think this is the story of my life, Kira. I want all the apricots, please. Thank you very much.
Of course you do. Of course you do. I absolutely love it. That's great. I love it. I love it. Well, Wafaa, talk to us. I mean, I very recently know I always love and enjoy, and you're coming back this year, that I don't know what New Year would be without you here at Tosa Blue Mountain. It's like you've become the new fixture here. It's like, oh, New Year's, Wafaa is coming. Like my whole staff, Rosa and all of them, they're just like, oh, Wafaa. I'm like, yes, she'll be back. And talk to me about that being the international cultured traveler in you, the one who really knows how to bridge the worlds. When you're here, it's such a magical moment to witness you, because you tend to really flourish in that role. And so how did that start in you? How did that wanderlust kind of be inspired or take you?
I think, again, as a child, I remember I had a tantrum. I think I was unhappy with something. And I remember very clearly that I walked to the door and I said to my mom, I'm not happy there. I think I'm going to go. And my mother said, you're only 9 years old.
Right.
19, I did go. $60 one-way ticket to Australia under the bombs. I was packing my suitcase under the bombs. My country was in a war. I couldn't go to university because university was targeted by snipers and we couldn't go to class. And I love studying. I'm an intellectual, and I felt there's no way they're going to stop me from doing my degree. So I wrote to my uncle. I said, look, I want to go to university. These are my grades. Please let me see if I can get a place in Australia. And lo and behold, 3 months later, I get a one-way ticket to Australia with acceptance at Melbourne Uni, which is one of the best universities in Australia, if not in the world. And I packed under the bombs. I could have died packing. I remember there were bombs all around my window in my little, very, very third floor of the building. Beirut was in a war. We were down in the basement. We were hiding.
I remember.
And I packed, and I was determined to leave. And in the morning, and then I slept the night in the basement. And in the morning, the driver came to pick me up. I said bye to my then boyfriend, who was absolutely devastated, but I knew I had to go. And I never regretted it, because that opened my life to my eyes to a whole new world. I mean, it wasn't anymore just the Middle East. It was Australia, it was Western culture, it was Anglo-Saxon culture, because I'm French educated. So that's how that started the bridge. But it wasn't easy. I didn't say it was easy, because at first I just thought, who am I? Am I an Arab? Am I Australian? Am I, you ask yourself these questions. Then I think the best answer I ever got was from a man I admire hugely, called Edward Said, who's a professor at Columbia. And he said, you don't have to be anything. You can sit on the fence and enjoy the view of both sides. So sitting on the fence is not in a negative way. It's more of like, I belong everywhere. Now I don't feel like I'm Australian or British, which I have the passports of. I feel I'm a citizen of the world. So when I'm in Ecuador, I'm so happy. I feel it's like a home. I love being with Rosa and all the people. And whenever I'm in a country, I just like absorb everything it has to give me. I don't feel ever anymore a foreigner. I just feel
so
truly
you know, I've traveled the world with you. I mean, we've gone to some extraordinary places together. And so one of the things that I want to share is that Wafaa, here you had this childhood. I mean, I want to talk about, I mean, you had a very intimate encounter with a bomb at a young age. And so what I'm fascinated by is there was no hate. Like you were on it. You did not grow up in a hate situation, even though, wasn't it your sister got pretty, I mean, you could have been pretty injured. I mean, so talk to me, you know, forgive me. So how did those experiences help wake you up, or did they help shape you in a way? I mean, certainly it prevented the university and got you propelled into Australia and where you are now. But I think where I really want to engage in a moment is, how did you make it through that without the obvious energies that could have come up? What was your foundation during that moment?
My foundation was peace. I knew I was never going to take a gun, and I was never going to kill another human being. In fact, it pushed me to become vegetarian. I've been a vegetarian since the age of 19. I said to myself, if everybody is killing each other for a certain reason, for being Muslim, Christian, whatever it was, the other, basically,
right?
Another person,
not me. Yeah,
not me. I'm not going to get into that game. Immediately, I knew it. I knew I was not going to get into that game, and that I really did not want to lose my friends. I grew up in a very multicultural environment. We had Jewish, Christians, and Muslims in my school, and I'm still friends with them. My Jewish, Christian, Muslim friends, I'm still friends with them after 40 years. And I never wanted to take sides. I never wanted to become a killer. And that's
so is this how you became a newscaster?
Yes, I became a newscaster because I thought I wanted to show the West that not everything bad. Because people have, as you know, black and white, good and bad. My whole life is about people. There's no good or bad, black or white. It's all about humans trying their best, as Shri says, in whatever way they understand the world. And
Right.
I think I've had that perspective. I was only 19 and I had it. I had this kind of wisdom, and I've stuck to my guns. I've never taken sides. I've always been a peaceful person, and I've always been a vegetarian. I don't want to kill an ant. That's how I navigated the violence. And even when my mother
And
died,
Wafaa, I'm gonna go in just 1 second and say to all of you over at TFR, we're going to be right back in about 3 minutes, and we'll look forward to being with you at the 7:30 mark or 5:30 mark, based on where you are around the world right now. And hey, we're right back here in what I call overtime. And so, Wafaa, I want to jump in during our overtime moment and ask about what I see around you is that magic. And I see that mastery weaving, and especially in a world that would have tried to say magic doesn't exist. You know, I love it in your books. I love your books. And I really do love the way that the Arabian Nights book is just like crazy for me. And I love the art. You know, you've just done such a good job integrating magic into what you do. And you do a lot of storytelling. And you have done, and look, if you have not read Wafaa's bio, go back to the e-card, and it doesn't even scratch the surface. As a matter of fact, Wafaa, I have to just brag about you in this moment. So not only is Wafaa published, and you want to go to her website, Wafa Tarnowska, disculpa, .co.uk, and just click on all the links that you find with us, but also Arabian Nights, I have to say, is my favorite of all the ones that I've connected with so far. It really is. But let me read you guys just a couple of things you should be aware about that Wafaa, that I'm aware of too. She was the winner of the GR8 Women's Award for Corporate Social Responsibility for the Middle East. She is the winner of Best CSR for Women 2009, a Women in Leaderships Award. She began as an Arabic language broadcaster for SBS Australia, does a lot of voiceovers. And one of the things that I'm excited about, because I think you had talked to me about it when you were here, was she has been documenting some extraordinarily profound, she's been translating some extraordinarily profound documentaries that are important. And one of the ones she translated for Sama won the, I cannot pronounce it because I'm not French, but won an award for best documentary at the 2019 Cannes Film Festival. And it was so there's a lot happening here with this woman. So Wafaa, the reason I wanted to talk about this, and hey, TFR Live, what good timing for you to join us back. Welcome back. We're glad you're with us. We're talking to my co-host right now, Wafa Tarnowska. And also I see all of you on the phone lines. We're going to get to you guys in a couple minutes, but we are sharing our magic and how that magic keeps us creating and manifesting. And Wafaa, you are really rising. I mean, your moment is upon you. Your books are being published. You're out there. You're translating powerful movies that matter. You're in demand. That's the blessing of you saying yes to you. And I know that's the blessing I've had watching you blossom over the past 10 years. So if you were to say to somebody right now how they could really look at taking the myth, because what I'm calling the myth is the illusion we believe about ourselves that limits who we really are. So if we relax that myth and we invite in the magic, what would you share, Wafaa? How have you done that? Because you have certainly woven the magic into the gloriousness of who you are now.
The magic comes from the profound belief that every single one of us has something to give. We have to believe in that. We're here for a reason, and we have to give some. So it's to believe in that which we are supposed to give. And I know that I'm supposed to write and to be the bridge. And I've always had that. That's what's propelled me. But every one of us has a belief in what they should be doing. So once you have that belief in your mind, then you can go forward and magic happens. I mean, so much so, Kira, that I now tell people, God is the manager of my agenda, because basically I finish something and something pops in, just right seamlessly almost, without me having to worry so much. It's like I'm at the moment finishing a book which has taken me 3 months, but I have nothing scheduled, and I know something will happen at the end of this project. It's that profound belief in the magic of the universe that it will look after you. And it does. It does.
Yeah.
It does. And I must say that being a follower of you and Shri for all these years has sustained me in the worst moments of my life, because none of us just rides the wave upwards. We all go up and down, we're all surfers on this life. But I've always kept my eyes on the divine at all times. Although I live in the UK, which is sometimes in the time difference zone is a bit difficult for me to listen.
I understand.
Live.
Of course.
I'm always listening. I catch up on everything. I don't think there is one meal I cook where you're not in the background.
Well, here's to you.
So, I catch up. I'm always connected to your energy, to your teaching, to your lessons, to your wisdom. It's sustained me. That's what sustained me is this connection with you, with your teachings. And the fact that I have this thing inside me which says I need to write and be the bridge. And also the belief that we're all one. I mean, I don't see differences between people. Do you remember I wrote this article about I don't see color differences too much, because I grew up in such a multicultural society where people were in so many different shades that I find it really difficult to look at color, skin color.
Well, and so I agree with you in every way. And one of the things that I want to jump in with is that as we claim our mastery, and our trust also exponentially grows with that. And that's how the magic comes forward, because we expand our consciousness and begin to remember ourselves. And this really ties into this whole full circle October about, imagine a world where we are holding the highest version of each other at all times. And I know that when you're here at Tosa Blue Mountain, every time you've been here, something magical has happened, because when you've been here, you've been held in that space, and thereby we create. So it's a magical gift to experience. And I know you've had that blessing happen more than once. So, hey, should we go to the phone lines and make a miracle happen for a few people tonight?
Yes, please.
Let's do it. All right. So I'm going to jump over the phone lines. We're going to jump over to, let's start over here in Portland, Oregon. Namaste, Portland, Oregon. Welcome.
Hi, Kira. This is Sarah in West Lynn.
Hi, namaste. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. So you look amazing. You are reverse aging so quickly.
Yeah. Sincerely, that is honestly happening here. I mean, I just turned 59. Not bad, right? Okay. So thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
Yes. So I'm calling to ask for a mini soul reading as a birthday gift to myself. I am turning 49 on Halloween. And this is a year in which absolutely everything in my life has changed. And I would just love any words of divine encouragement.
Wow. I forgive me for starting with a wow, but I'm actually like out of breath connecting with you. And let me share with you why. So right now, and I love that you're our first caller tonight when we're talking about magic and your birthday's on Halloween. Could this be any better, Wafaa? Aren't we so excited about Sarah being our first caller? I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, right? It's just so perfect. So Sarah, here's the first thing that I want to share with you. Yeah, everything's changing and you've got another year. You are in the middle of a cycle that is going to fly you through until about December next year. It's fast, it's uplifting. And it's funny because they're showing it to me almost like, it looks like a funnel. And it's like, it's started already, and it's like, imagine if you were the rising energy in a funnel. So down near the bottom, you're not going down through the funnel, you're opening up, you're lifting up. And so what they're showing me is that your energy is in the middle of this rise, that this has already begun. And that's why everything is literally like being stirred up and shaken up, because as you're doing this progression, you're also kind of like creating an energy field that is going to, let's just say, spin out that which is trying to stop you. And so they're saying that this period will stabilize very, very soon, like within the next 4 months is what I'm experiencing. And that you are in a moment of great decision-making, and they keep talking about the equilateral cross. And I think that's really important to pay attention to, that you're at a moment where perfect balance, 49, 9 plus 4 is 13, which is the 4 again, carrying the 13 energy. This is a extremely beautiful moment. And I'm loving what your guides are saying, because what they're wanting me to close with is that you have all the magic you need contained within you right now. All you need to do is remember it and bring it forward. And they're saying, bring your hand to your heart, take in a deep breath. And when you let it out, claim what you really are. And I want you to just really be and feel that. And Wafaa, I just want to check in. Is there anything else you'd like to share with our beautiful Sarah?
I wish I had your beautiful talent. I would love just to give her blessings every step of the way on this magical journey, because I think life gets more and more magical as we are in our middle age. We see more the magic.
Yes. Oh, I love it. Well, Angel, thank you for being our first caller, and we're excited for your birthday. Thank you for bringing more magic into the show tonight. We love you, honey.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I love you guys.
All right.
Namaste.
Namaste, sweetheart. We love you. Oh, Wafaa, how's your heart feeling? I'm feeling, it's so funny because when we talk about magic and manifestation, one of the things that, as I was preparing the energy for the show tonight, I was reminded of children and holidays and whatever holiday, whatever magic comes forward in your life as a child. And I was reflecting on when we can harvest our best moments of magic from our childhood with the wisdom of our discerning adulthood, that's when we can reclaim ourselves. Does that feel congruent for you?
very congruent for me. I mean, my magical moment, if I may share, has been when my grandma, who was
Please.
4 foot high, quite a formidable lady, she used to come and visit us from the village, and she used to have a little, her handbag was full of very old squashed chocolates that she used to get from when she visited people. And she used to say,
I love it.
open the bag, bring the bag. And I would ruffle in this bag, and then I will pull out a really squashed, horrible kid. But I knew that to do this in order for her to tell me a story. And she used to sit me down and hold my hand and tell me stories. And she used to tell me stories. And this is where it started, my love for storytelling.
I was
This
just feeling
little
that. Yeah.
4 amazing lady. And I had to eat those horrible chocolates in order to listen to the, but what that me summarizes my childhood.
I hear it. Well, thank you for sharing that. And you know, I love that. I enjoy that story so much because it's rich with the recognition that when we're open, you were open, you were willing to eat the chocolates. And it was like, but tell me the story, because that verbal communication, you know, for how many eons was it that verbal communication? This is what I love about radio. This is what I love about this forum, is that we're talking to each other and that we're offering each other the sense of, when we say something, when we emote, you know this because you are truly, I bow before your storytelling capacity. You are exquisite. When we offer that gift, we're able to ignite a mastery magic within ourselves. And in that one moment, maybe we can really then call forward that manifested energy. And that's a gift that is a beautiful gift to be giving. So thank you for giving it so beautifully. Should we should we bring another caller in?
Yes,
All
please.
right. All right, let's do it. We have a really full call board here. I'm just going to go right up. Okay, we have got Belleville, Illinois, it looks like. Namaste, Belleville. Welcome.
Hello, Kira. This is Gary. Namaste.
Hey, Gary. Namaste. Welcome, beloved one.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
I wanted to share something with you. First, today is my birthday. I'm 49 today.
Wow. Wow. That's
So we got to
amazing.
connect on- I was going to tell you about something. Last time I talked to you, I told you that I teach at the dementia class I was once court ordered to go to.
Right.
And 3 weeks ago, I went up there to lay out my teaching because I have to go up there and actually tell them what I'm going to teach and, how I'm going to teach it, because I don't, wear a cloak. I am spiritual, and that's it.
Right.
So I go up there to tell her what I'm going to teach, and she raised her hands up. She says, whatever you want. I said, what do you mean whatever I want? She says, whatever you want. I said, spiritual? I can teach spiritual? She said, as long as you don't attack religion, yes. I said,
Wow.
okay. So I thought that was like, and this is a court-ordered class, so I don't know if, things are changing or what, but they gave me a green light.
I am so happy for you. My heart is bursting. Angel, I'm smiling as you're talking about what's changing is that you are anchoring. See, this is the blessing of presence. When we say yes to ourselves, when we don't give up, when we say, this is who I am, right? As you said, I'm spiritual, that's it, right? Now, the fact that you're anchoring it means that it's being witnessed. And that's a sign of divine mastery. And so this is exactly the magic that creates the miracles and that manifests the greater. And so every step forward is a step that assists not only ourselves, but all of those around us. So my heart is bursting for you. Wafaa, did you want to share anything?
Yeah, I feel like the image I got when I heard your story, Gary, is like a stone, like, when you throw a stone in a lake and you start creating ripples. And I think that class that you're going to give on the spirituality is going to be this kind of stone, which will, I think in images.
What a beautiful image.
Many
Yeah,
blessings.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Kira,
well,
is there any way I could get a birthday soul reading today?
oh, you know it. I'm not letting you off the phone without one. Are you kidding me? All right, Angel.
My
Well,
wife and I actually share birthdays this month. Hers is
wow.
on the 2nd, and
Wow.
mine's on, well, today.
Wow. Well,
Yeah.
I my arm is around you both. And I also do have to say, I am kind of like loving the fact that it's another 49, which is of course the energy of the 13, which reduces into the 4, which is the perfect balance. And I love that your birthday is on the 17th, which is also very much about eternal unified presence. And as
The
this,
number 8.
yeah, exactly. And so as I'm gazing into your energy field, and I'm just looking very much, to me, a year is like really short, but as I gaze at the year ahead, what they're showing me is really fascinating. It's a circle of circles. And they're saying that you are spinning all of these circles into creation now, and that it's important for you over the next year to always go into the middle where you can turn and see any, and not to forget they're all there. And they're saying that as this unified circle takes you around the sun, when you are here this time next year, it's a whole new ball game, my angel. So thank
Well, I
you.
bet it is.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Oh,
Kira.
thank
I love
you.
you guys so much.
Oh, we love
I
you.
do, I really do.
We
Thank
love
you
you.
so much.
Thank you, honey. Namaste. Mwah.
All right, tell Tree I love him.
I will. Namaste, Gary. We
Thank
love you. Bye.
Namaste, love. Bye.
Love, honey. Hey, Wafaa, is your heart as filled with miracle, magic, and love for Gary and his beloved one as I am?
I can feel the sparkles all around.
Right. I mean, this is like, I've got, you see me? I got like the Cheshire cat, like my cheek curtain kind of smile going on. Yeah, it's just, this is the blessing of coming together. This community comes together 3 times a week, and I have the blessing of being there at all 3. And Sri's actually here right now. He's right there producing the show. And when we come together, that's a miracle moment. That's the magic, is that we can come together. We have a safe space. We are holding the highest expression of each other. That's magic in a world of density that wants you to be angry, that wants you to be polarized, that wants you to forget how amazing you are. Because if you forget, that's how you stay angry. That's how you stay polarized. And Wafaa, I just want to again bow before your mastery, because I love you so much. I love everything you've ever done in your life. I love your beautiful daughter's wedding that I had the honor of seeing pictures of. And it is a moment where storytelling, even if people perceive them as the myths, must be told. Where keeping the magic alive is a gift that each one of us can give to everyone, not just children, everyone. I mean, you have been all over the world in some of the most incredible museums and other incredible places where you have been invited to share your stories. And if you were to give like a 2-minute overview of, or 1 to 2 minute overview of, what do you see? And you have been in all these different cultures. You have met with all these different people. You have shared these beautiful stories. As you travel, what do you see as the unifying magic of humanity?
The inner child. I think that storytelling is so special, because when I performed at the Tate last year, Tate Modern, which is a huge museum.
Oh, yeah.
We were not supposed to do it in public, in the sense that for a crowd, we were supposed to go and approach people personally and tell them, would you like to know what happens if you drink that water, for instance? And you would, if the person was interested in knowing what would happen, then you tell them a story. If the person would say no. But funnily enough, most adults, after being startled to being approached by a stranger, like me, walking around, that was my job, walking around with 4 other people, telling stories, but in a one-to-one. You can't believe it, Kira. People's eyes, people calm down, they take off their shields and their helmets, and they sit down, and they actually remember maybe the time when they were little and listening to stories that their parents told them. And there's this of innocence, there is this freshness that comes out. And then after you finish telling the story, the vibration between you and them is completely different. You are at the time where the two inner children are talking to each other and a magic happens. And the people that we told the stories for were from every nationality, because the Tate Modern is a multinational kind of museum. There were Chinese, there were Japanese, there were Poles, there were French. Everybody loves the story. Everybody remembers being a child, and everybody enjoys remembering that.
Exactly.
You know, the innocence, and
That's it.
I don't know.
And that's it. No, I want to jump in on that, because that's it. But what it is it's about protecting that innocence that might have been buffeted by a lot of experiences in the lifetime, but it's about saying, you know what, I can wrap that innocence with my wisdom. I can hold that in my own arms and unify that with the maturity and the wisdom. And that's why this 19-year cycle that has just begun again is so important, because, you know, think about 19 years ago, look at the past 19 years and then say, okay, that 19-year cycle, what have I learned? What am I ready to claim as mastery and say yes to? And I find it extraordinary that the planet is in a very different place in only 19 years. That collectively, we are all, it's like we were so loved, we were given on-the-job training for this moment, right? Our entire life has been on-the-job training for this moment. How does that feel? I mean, does that feel congruent? Does that feel something that you're experiencing?
Very much so, very much so. I think that 19 years ago, I could say that I had my first encounter with an angel, and that opened my eyes to the other dimensions. And it was a very, very powerful encounter. And since then, I mean, it's just been walking into that other realm. And it's just been, I couldn't even imagine my life being different. It was like this whole 19 years has been trying to keep my eyes on the divine, trying to nourish my soul, trying to be with like-minded people, trying to, you know, learn as much as I can from you and Shri. I mean, you're my beloved teachers. And that for me has been, it's this kind of completely all the time, just following that path that I mean, I had the feeling that was my path. My spiritual life was the most important thing in my life. Although I have achieved other third dimensional things, but I think I told you in the email I sent to you, my 3 most important achievements are not all these awards that I've won, which I'm very grateful for having won, but it's about nourishing my spiritual life through your teachings and having these 2 wonderful children, and I think my books. And other than that, I don't know. And that's been my 19 years, because I started writing 19 years ago. I started writing and I saw the angel 19 years ago. These were the 2 things that sparked that 19-year cycle. And as I said, we're surfing up and down on that board and we're holding on to it. But I think if we keep our eyes on the divine at all time and
I agree,
stick to our teachers and practice every day, it's not
love
such
it.
a bad ride. It's
No, it's
magical
not.
for me.
I think it's a magical ride indeed. And I think we have enough time to say hello to a few more callers. So let's go ahead. It looks like we're going to Boise, Idaho. Hey, Boise, Idaho. Namaste.
Namaste, this is Jerry.
Hey, hi, Jerry.
I love you.
I'm dying here. You're speaking my language, magic and birthdays. And so I got both. I'm 53 today, which is an 8, and you had 2 4s calling.
All right. That's just too freaky perfect. All right. We people are going to think we planned this stuff. Oh my goodness.
Oh, I know, and I'm loving it. Plus, it's the 17th. It's another 8.
8.
I'm looking at the 2 of you both mirrors, and you're like the mirror, the eighth, the infinity symbol. So I just had to call in. I feel so lined up with all of this.
Oh, honey.
And I adore both of you so much. This is just an exciting birthday, just sitting here watching you on my computer. I couldn't have a better day.
Oh, honey, we are so honored. Wafaa, like tears, right? Oh, thank you, Jerry. And Jerry, oh my God, angel. First of all, I think you just gave yourself the reading. Look at the energy that's supporting you, right? And that's what I keep hearing. They're saying, just keep staring in the mirror and remember who you are. And they're saying the active steps will put the process in motion. The year ahead has many steps and each one will build on the next. All I keep seeing is like every block is going on top of the other, and you're standing at the top of the blocks at the end of the year going, oh my God, I built that. And it's pretty amazing. So a building year, a growing year, a year of putting things together. So, and with all of this archangelic infinite presence, I don't know about you, Wafaa, but I'm feeling pretty stoked. How about you?
I think Jerry is one of the most extraordinary people I've ever met, thanks to you, and I adore her. And I see her dancing throughout this year. I think Jerry, keep dancing, my darling, and sparkling, because you are amazing. And as Kira said, the building blocks, but dancing and sparkling, and you'll be there.
We love you, Jerry.
Oh, thank you both. Love you both so much. Namaste.
Happy birthday. We love you.
Thanks.
Go eat the frosting
You
first.
too.
Bye, honey. All right. Ciao. Oh, hey, Wafaa, you know, speaking of eating the frosting first, isn't that part of the magic? Is to just be that child, you know, what you were talking about. And I so many times I'm often reminded that when we allow that innocence to come forward and flourish through the wisdom that we have acquired, that's the ascended presence, to say yes to who we are. That is the miracle magic in our lives. And we have about, I don't know, 40 seconds left. Why don't you offer us how people can learn more about you, and what would be your parting sharing?
I'm so thankful for having the opportunity to share some of the wisdoms from my part of the world in Sufi Voices. I would love to be in touch with people with the chat, get ideas, get opinion, if they like, they don't like, if they're offended, not offended. I'm here to be a bridge, but I would really love to start a conversation on the chat about Sufi Voices. And
so
I
Sufi Voices, I'm going to
to
jump in, Wafaa, because we're out of time. And so Sufi Voices is at onenesstalkradio.com. You can check it out there. Please do. Also go to wafatarnowska.co.uk to learn more. And thank you for supporting Soul Mirrors. Be amazed. I know that each week I am amazed at the blessing of our co-creative capacity. Wafaa, I love you. Thank you for the blessing of being with us this evening.
Thank you for having me. Thank you. Thank you. Love to everybody. Mwah.
Always. And we love you. And we look forward to being with you right here on Soul Mirrors next week. Mwah. Namaste, everyone. Bye-bye.